What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. How y'all been? How y'all doing? It's been a long time. I know that's right. Well, we are here to finish out the Handmaid's Tale season. This is No Man's Land, episode 7 of season 5. Now, it's been a while. So, last time we were here, June and Serena Joy had just escaped the custody of Wheeler's men and killed Ezra, or shot Ezra, because we don't know if Ezra's dead. And now they flying down the road to nowhere. Serena got the gun on June's back. June is screaming, "What you gonna do, Serena? What you gonna do, Serena? You gonna kill me? You gonna kill me? You gonna kill me?" Okay, Serena Joy is in labor, like I said, right? She got this gun to June's head. And it's not like it really mattered, because like I said, June was still popping off at the mouth. She basically calling Serena Joy's bluff. Now, a contraction hit Serena Joy. She's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Which caused her to fire the gun. You know, I don't know. Feel like someone was on my nose. Oh my gosh. I don't know why, you know, the safety was, oh, well, they just shot Ezra. But why her finger was on the trigger. Anyway, caused her to fire off the doggone gun. And she's like, oops, my bad. June is like, my bad, you sorry, right? So she stops the car and pull over, gets out and starts walking to and fro, just walking, and decides she's gonna try to get away from Serena. Now you can hear Serena in the background moaning, "June, stop, I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm not trying to kill you, June." So Serena gets in the car and she starts to drive, right? Now, I started watching this episode, y'all, and got mad. I got mad for 2 reasons. One, I already watched this episode. Why I didn't do a recap or review on it, I don't know. Because this episode pissed me the hell off. And I didn't want to be pissed off again, but it's exactly what it did. It took me right back to the place I was when I watched it the first time. Because I realized that in this particular episode, I remember this was the one that they really tried to soften us towards Serena Joy. Now, give me a moment, y'all. I got to explain a little bit something. I moved to a new house. I'm sitting on a mattress right now on the floor. Only blanket I got is my daughter's old shark blanket. We got hardwood floors out there, and you can hear Vito's nails tapping against the floor. So that's why they click. I'm not going to edit none of that out. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know how I do. Okay. But they trying to play on our intelligence this episode. They really trying to play on our intelligence. They really trying to soften us up to our oppressor. Okay, that's what they trying to do. I don't know, somewhere in the mind of the writers of this show, they are trying to convince the oppressed people it's okay to have love for your enemy, because that's what the Bible says to do, right? They are trying to say it's okay to forgive them and to help them, because that's what a good Christian person would do. That's what somebody with the love of God in their heart would do, is help those in need, regardless of how fucked up that person has been to you, regardless how many times that person has put you in harm's way, tortured you, stripped the baby out of your arms, raped you, all that stuff. No matter, none of that. It don't matter. Forgiveness is in the heart of the righteous. That's what they try to do with this episode. And I think that because we as viewers are so caught up in it, we're so connected to the storyline on an emotional level, that they are intentionally trying to soften us up to our oppressors. That's just my feeling, okay? So they want us to be like June. They want us to feel compassionate, understanding, okay? One with our oppressor as June is with hers. We're supposed to feel for Serena Joy, okay? Feel sorry, feel concerned, feel the desire to save her as June does. Now, I got my notes here in front of me. Y'all might hear the page turn into, and I'm here to tell y'all, fuck you. Fuck you, the writers. And fuck June too. That's basically how I feel about the whole situation, right? I don't give a good god dog on about Serena Joy or June in this moment, for the truth of that matter, okay? Who I feel for? The baby, the unborn child. That's who I feel for. Because the fact this child is going to be born into this world that they mama helped create, that's who I feel sorry for, okay? This is the episode where Serena Joy and June find an abandoned farmhouse, and June tries to help her through her labor and delivery. Serena Joy acts cold and callous, and June says, well, fuck you then, and walks out, tries to leave her. But as she crosses over that barren field, barren field of dreams, basically, Serena Joy is welling out in pain. And, we get these flashbacks back to yesterday and stuff like that. Her screams of pain pulls June back across that field, back into the barn, back into SJ's side, Serena Joy's side, right? And we get this realization from Serena Joy on how much of a villain that she has been to June. We get this realization that she has, or we get this perception that Serena was not always this way. She's a victim of Gilead as well. That's what they're trying to get us to understand. She was a good person. Gilead changed her. That's what they're trying to get us to understand. Fuck that. They try to make it seem like things were not always this way in Serena Joy's mind. Serena Joy is essentially a victim. And I bet a lot of viewers fell for that shit. By the time Serena Joy was ready to push that baby out, y'all had already pushed out of y'all minds the vindictive, manipulative person Serena Joy was, and will always be to me. Okay? But let's go back to the storyline itself. June has to save her. Because why? I've said it time and time again. A lot of y'all don't agree. June is Serena Joy. They are the same person to me. June would fit right in as a commander's wife if things had been different. And they both are two sides of the same coin. Okay? Very self-serving. And June, to me, was not saving Serena Joy, but she was saving herself. That's what she was doing. And she was struggling with that internally, whether or not she should. Well, she's been having her own struggle with herself, whether or not she is worthy to be saved herself. And this is the external struggle that she's having, whether or not Serena Joy is worthy to be saved. So, like I said, we get to flash back to when June first arrived at the Waterfords. And they had taken her to a home where they were doing a birthing ritual. I did enjoy seeing the faces of all the handmaids that we had lost over the years. And I'm including June in that. Even though she's here in the present, June has lost a whole lot of herself from when she first started. Okay. Now, the way this scene is set up, though, it's making it seem like Serena Joy was thinking this whole ritual, this whole spectacle of a process was ridiculous. She kept throwing looks at June like, girl, I know this is a mess, right? Them type of looks. And even when the handmaid had died or had been killed, basically, because they put sleeping gas in her to make her die. Serena Joy in that moment acted as if she was sad about it. Like, I'm so sorry, June. This is going to be your experience too. My bad. That's the look she was giving her, right? Now, I was like, Handmaid's Tale, y'all really trying to rewrite history here. Y'all really trying to rewrite history. It's been 8 years for us as viewers watching this show. But and I'm quite sure a few of y'all have not forgot June's initial arrival in season 1. There was nothing compassionate or inviting or welcoming about Serena Joy. Nothing. She ruled with the iron fist from day 1. They acting like June was her first handmaid. She wasn't. Okay, and they acting like this is the turning point that Serena Joy became this oppressive person. It wasn't. Okay, they are trying to give us a vantage point that didn't exist. It didn't. This how slavery lasted so long. Okay, this is how we are being reverted back to slavery. What's the word I want to use? Ideals? Current day. Okay? Just back in my home state in Missouri, the House of Representatives or the Congress, the legislators, I'm not sure which one it was, decided that the women can no longer show their arms. They must wear jackets to cover up. I think they can't wear pants. They have to wear long skirts, something like that. They're already changing or reverting back to days of old. You know, they've already stripping us of our abortion rights, and now they're trying to make it a nationwide ban. Things of that nature. The police are just running amok. Okay. You know, when the police were first created, it was to tame the slaves, to capture the slaves and bring them back into submission. That's exactly what's going on right now. And we sitting back rewriting history in our fucking minds like it never fucking happened. Or from a different perspective that they are telling us that we are being placed back into an oppressive state. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here with that. Serena Joy was a fucking tyrant. Okay, they also trying to make it seem like June, this is due to her. By the time she got to the Waterfords, she had already been in Gilead for 3 years under Aunt Lydia's care. So I'm quite sure she's seen a birthing ritual before. I'm quite sure this young lady wasn't the first one to die and have her baby taken out of her arms. It wasn't June's first walk in the park. But they wrote this episode to make us feel like, oh my God, she's so brand new. She's so fresh. She's like a baby. Reference baby. She's like a baby, you know. And Serena Joy is like none the wiser, which she was. She wrote the fucking book, okay? Anyway, I don't feel no compassion for her. None at all. So when June tried to leave, as I had mentioned earlier, you know, they went out there and the car was stuck in the grass in the mud, you know, tires just spinning. And her trying to push this car out of this mud with all her might was just symbolic or parallel to what Serena Joy was going through in that barn, you know, trying to give birth to that baby without any help, without any resistance. It wasn't moving, you know what I'm saying? We flash back to the purification ceremony where they put the handmaid to rest, to death, you know, traumatic experience. And this is one of the examples I was saying, that the way that June's first experience was like, oh my God, I had never seen nothing like this before. It's unbelievable because she had already been there 3 years, okay? Not 3 months, not 3 weeks, not 3 days, 3 freaking years. I know it was traumatic, and it could probably still be traumatic 3 years later, but this wasn't new. And that's how they wrote this episode, which was pissing me off because, like I said, it was insulting my intelligence, right? It was during this flashback that June came to the conclusion, above all else, what she needs to do is save that child. It was about the child's life. Aunt Lydia said, think about the child. Pray about the child. Forget the mama. Pray about the child. So with that realization in mind, the only way to save the child now is to save Serena. This is the thought process that June is walking through in her head. She gotta save Serena in order to save that baby that's what's inside her. So it's a decision that she had made. It was a struggle. You know what I'm saying? We saw her struggling with it. We saw her contorted faces and expressions and the eyeglasses into the camera. Like, what should I do? What should I do? We saw all that. She acted that out very well. And, you know, the decision was made. She had to go back in to save Serena. So You know, I always try to look for symbolism in the scenery around, and I noticed there was a lot of birds interaction. We started off with this bird's nest. It was empty. There was a few scenes that June was just standing out in the wilderness. All you heard was different birds. They panned down to this spider web, which was also beautifully woven, but empty as well. So we had an empty bird nest and an empty spider web. It was like whatever was caught here needed to be set free. Okay. But oh, what a beautiful web we weave. You know, that we caught up in this trap, this beautiful trap. And that's what the relationship between Serena Joy and June was to me, like a beautifully woven web. It was like a dangerous place to be, but she had a friendship and a love for Serena that I just didn't understand. I just don't understand. Okay. Anyway, later on in the episode, I think there was like 2 pigeons on the stoop, and I kept thinking, there it goes again, the duality of Serena Joy and June being represented in these birds. Okay, but anyway, as Serena Joy pushes through, we get the infamous forehead touch that June likes to do. And she needed to do that in this moment to calm Serena Joy down. It's her way of swaying people into doing her bidding. And at this time, the actress who plays Serena Joy, Yvonne, had just given birth to her own baby, maybe like a few months before they started filming this. And she was really drawn from her own personal experience for the reenactment of this birth. It was, you ain't got no epidural. You ain't got no medication. You know what I'm saying? You in a stressful situation with somebody you ain't sure that's gonna kill you as soon as they snatch that baby or steal the baby. You going through a lot of shit right now. And the way that she portrayed this delivery, baby, Yvonne be acting her ass off. I'm telling you. I wonder if that was her real baby on set. It's a beautiful little gummy bird. It's beautiful little gummy bird. Anyway, they flash back to show how Serena Joy, like I said, was understanding of how fucked up the purification ritual was. And she was connecting to June's pain. She was connected to June's fear. And they did all this emotion just with their facial expressions, right? Serena didn't give a good goddamn. In my opinion, Serena did not give a good goddamn. Serena, she asked Serena Joy asked June, why didn't she kill her before? And June said, you the one that's been running around waving the doggone gun. She's like, no, not right now. I'm talking back at the center doing a protest. Why didn't you kill me then? You had a gun. The answer's simple, child. I've been saying it for years. She don't want to. She sees herself in you. She believes that you are a victim too. Okay? You are a friend. You may be a sister even. Okay? And then that's when they show those 2 pigeons sitting up on the stoop or high on the perch, right? 2 birds of a feather. That's what you guys are. Like I said, 2 sides of the same coin. That's what you guys are, right? Birds of a feather flock together. So Serena asked, do you think he'll be just like his daddy? He looked just like him, you know what I'm saying? And June tells us that's going to be on how you raise him. What you teach him. But that's not always the case. Let's be honest. That is not always the case. Sometimes a parent can do all that they can do, teach all they can teach, and their child will still come out an evil bastard. Okay. They could teach them to be hellish. They could teach them to be criminalistic, and the person will come out just as righteous as they want to be. Now, because if I had to go off of my upbringing, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Do you think that the 5 officers who killed Tyree was taught that shit? That you gonna grow up to kill your brothers? You gonna grow up to beat the hell out of a man? No. We all know that there are outside influences that help shape us and shape us into the person that we are to be, more so than what our parents may teach us. We may take along some of those values, but ultimately the outside world is what really influences who we are as a person. Let's just be honest there. And I will say that's mainly in Western society. Because when you look at other cultures like Asians, in most cases, what their parents teach them to be, that's who the fuck they are. Regardless of what they want out of life, they don't give a damn. They mama say you gonna grow up to be a goddamn doctor. Damn it, you gonna be a doctor, the best damn doctor you wanna be. Well, you gonna be. You can be. Better. You can't come in the house with no A minus. No, that don't exist. You better get all A pluses. Do they still do A pluses and minuses in school? I don't know. But yet in Western civilization, we not so hell bent on forcing our child to be what we want to be. I mean, there's some things that we do to live through our child. I'm gonna say that, especially like with a lot of sports parents. You know, I failed at being a football star, so I'm gonna make sure my son won, and I'm gonna make sure he do whatever he got to do. I don't care if he crack his skull 10,000 times. He gonna play on this football field. We have those type of situations, but I normally notice in Asian cultures, African cultures, that the children are raised to be a certain way, and it's my way or the highway. I don't care what you want. This is what mama and daddy want for you. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they do that. I ain't gonna say this. That's not the way in the Caribbean that I have seen, that I've noticed, that I've taken notice of. Anywho, this is not always the case, was my point. So June tries to convince Serena, we need to go to a hospital, child. Okay, you naked and afraid with a child with no food, and it's cold as hell. Serena's like, girl, I'm hot. That's because you got an infection, girl. Infection. You have one. You have infection. And June tell her, look her, you gonna die. You gonna die. The baby gonna die, and it's gonna be a slow death if you don't get yourself some help. He gonna be dying of starvation while your ass up here dying of sepsis or some shit like that. You know. Get yourself together. We need to get you to a damn doctor. But Serena Joy is like, I cannot go to a doctor because they're going to find me. And this is the third time she said they're going to find me. And June like, who the fuck going to find you? Who are you talking about? The Whalers. The same people that was after you. They're going to find me. They were treating me like I was you. I felt like I was you. And I think I said this last episode. I don't remember if I did, but if I didn't, I have to say it now. Serena Joy, you didn't even come close to being treated like a handmaid. You didn't even touch the hem of the garment of what a handmaid is supposed to be. You didn't scratch the surface of what a handmaid does and what you have done to a handmaid to even compare yourself. You got to walk around on the grounds freely. I mean, you couldn't come and go as you wanted to. But no, you didn't have that same type of life. You just barely sniffed at it. Barely sniffed at it. Got the nerve to compare yourself. They treated me like I was you. And even in that breath, same breath, it was like she had some sense of entitlement. Like, how fucking dare they treat me like I'm you? You a scum of the fucking earth. That's what I got out of that tone of voice, right? And me and June, we both rolled our eyes like, girl, bye. You was never close to a handmaid, okay? But June says, girl, either we go or you die. And Gummy Bear gonna die too. Is that what you want, Serena? Is that what you want? To die, Serena? To watch your baby die in front of you too? Is that what you want? No, I don't want that. I didn't think so. So Serena say, you take him. It's like, what? You take the baby, right? It's the end of the road for me. I ain't got nowhere to go. I ain't got no future. I can't go forward. Can't go back to Canada. Damn sure can't go back to Gilead. You saved me. Okay? So, now it's time for you to save Jelly Bean. No, I said that wrong. You saved jelly beans, so now it's time for you to save gummy bear. Well, all my doggone kids named after candy. Because I got the goober baby too. Okay, anywho. So she's like, Luke is a good man. He would teach my son, whose name is Noah, but I'm going to call him Gummy Bear, that, how to be a better man, how not to be like his daddy, right? This is God's plan. I believe that God led you to me. And you're like, bitch, you found me. She said, but I know he brought me to you to save you so you could save my baby. It's God's will. That's all I'm saying. This is God's will. I am just a vessel, okay? When I couldn't hide the baby no longer, Noah said, build an ark. And I think I am the ark. I am the vessel child. And then, so June took little Gummy Bear out of her arms. And she got up and said, God's will. And then she thought about that shit. It's God's will. She the vessel. That's what this bitch been thinking of me this whole time. She think I'm the vessel. That's what she thought about us. We a fucking vessel. That's all we were to you, was a vessel. Okay, that's all we were. And Serena like, well, I'm so sorry. She don't give a damn about your sorries. She don't give a damn about your sorries. You know what I'm saying? But June still feels that Serena Joy has no fault in this world for real. She just feels like Serena Joy is blind and now she see, and God will save a wretched like she. That's what she's saying. So she's like, come on, girl. Get up and let's go. Okay? I am not like you. Despite what poetry has been saying, I'm not the same as you. So I'm going to save your ass. That's what June tells her. So she gets into a hospital. Now, remember I told you I thought the writing was lazy and sloppy this season. They get her to a hospital. Where? In Canada. They made it past the newly strengthened border patrols. They made it past Wheeler's men again. They made it past the border in a diplomatic vehicle with the window shot out. They made it back into Canada with no resistance. June calls Moira from the hospital. Gummy doing fine. He may have a little jaundice, but otherwise he doing fine. Serena Joy is scared as shit. Of course she should be. Her baby's off in the NICU. They won't let the baby feed her. I remember going through that. And I was like, y'all better bring my god doggone baby to my side. They wouldn't let her breastfeed the baby because, she had an infection. And they giving her antibiotics. And because of the type of lifestyle that Gilead offered, they didn't really do antibiotics. They try to cure things naturally. Or so they said. So I remember antibiotics being introduced. I remember medications being snuck in for their own purpose and care and stuff like that. But anyway, she needed antibiotics instead of allowing her to heal naturally or whatever. And June walks out and Moira's not there, but Luke is. She's so happy to see his face, to realize that he had been, let go at the border and he back free, which I thought was dumb of the Wheelers men to let him go back at the border. But anywho, while she's out there hugging up and snuggling up on Luke, in comes immigration services, baby. Luke done called immigration on her. And she's like, what for? June is panicking. Why are they here? What you mean immigration is here? She's undocumented. She illegally crossed the border. Not once, but twice. When she left with Ezra. Well, they was in a diplomatic vehicle, so they had diplomatic status at that time. Yeah, she undocumented. She ain't got no home. She denounced Gilead, kind of, sort of. But remember, she didn't have no passport and stuff like that. That's why I was like, how the fuck was she crossing the border with Ezra without a passport? But that was neither here nor there, because it was just me. That was just me saying that. Okay. Anyway, she undocumented. She illegal. He called INS. They call this Canada Immigration Services. So CIS, they call, and CIS called Child Protective Services, baby. Somebody come get that child, right? Somebody got to come get that child. June looked like she wanted to cut a hole into the soul of Luke. Why would you do that? Okay, she just had the most beautiful bouncing baby boy full of joy. What you mean you call immigration services? Why would you do something like that? How could you be so fucking cruel? They handcuffed Serena ass to the bed. CPS, like I said, was coming to take Gummy. And Luke is like, At last, revenge has come along. He was happy. He was happy, you know. And he like, now she know what the fuck it feel like. She know what it feels like to have her child ripped from her arms, right? And she's screaming, Joe, save me, Joe. Don't let them take my baby. Do something, Joe. It was like, you know, old girl on John Q. Do something, John. That's how she was talking to Joe. Do something. Don't let them take it. No, don't take my baby. Yvonne was acting her ass off. And Luke was like, shit, justice has been served, right? Right. June said, I guess. Actually, what did she say? She said, right. And then we get that. No, the camera didn't freeze. That was me reenacting June staring to the fucking camera. I mean, June agreed verbally. But we all know she wasn't happy with what was going on. Because like I said, June sees herself. June thought she had saved herself by getting Serena Joy to safety of a hospital. Getting that baby safe. You know what I'm saying? And now June is losing herself and that child all over again. Okay, that's it, y'all. I didn't watch episode 8 because it took me all doggone day to get through episode 7, and I was so mad that I realized I had already watched episode 7. I had like 5 minutes left to go before I cut it off the last doggone time, and I don't know what I did with my notes. I had deleted them out my phone and stuff like that. But anywho, I'm back, y'all. I'm back to finish out this recaps and reviews of The Handmaid's Tale. This one and Power are the only ones I'm going to do episode by episode. I am going to still do a summary of the Game of Thrones, my final thoughts on that. So come back to the channel. As soon as I get some real furniture up in the crib, then it'll have a better backdrop and back sitting, you know what I'm saying? But thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being patient. Thank y'all for sticking around. Thank y'all for not unsubscribing. I appreciate you greatly. Peace.